sixth graders, we're back for your last math video of this school year. It is the last day of school. I'm so excited for my summer. Are you guys? All right, we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing by 10, 100, 1,000, things like that. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. Okay, multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 10, 100, 1,000, and we're going to do it by each one of these, okay? So we know that when we multiply, we get a bigger number, okay? If you don't have any decimals in your number, it's pretty easy. If you're multiplying by 10, you just add a 0 because we're getting bigger numbers. If you multiply by 100, we would add 2 zeros because 100 has 2 zeros. If we're multiplying by 1,000, we would add 3 zeros because it has 3 zeros. Okay? So now if you have a decimal in your number and you're multiplying by 10, we're going to move the decimal. And we're going to move it the same number of zeros we have in our number. If it's 10, it's 1 0. If it's 100, 2. And if it's 1,000, 3. So I'm going to move this 1. And remember, if I want a bigger number, am I going to move to the right or to the left? You got it. I'm going to move to the right because I need a bigger number. So if I'm multiplying times 10, I have 1 0. I'm moving that decimal one place. Okay? 100 has 2 zeros. So I'm going to move my decimal 2 places. So I moved it here. What do I have to fill in this spot? That's right, a 0. Okay, and if I have 3 zeros, I need to move it 3 places. 2, and I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3. What do I need in these 2 spaces? Zeros. Good job, guys. Okay, so now I have 23 hundredths, and I want to multiply by 10. 1 0, 1 place, right? So I move that 1 place, and my answer is 2.3. 2 zeros, I go back to my original here, and I'm moving it 2 places. 1, 2. So it's now at the end. Okay? 3 zeros. So back to my original. I'm moving it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And what did we say we fill in that extra place? You got it, a 0. Okay? So remember, the key when you're multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, 1 with a bunch of zeros, is we're going to get a bigger number. And we're going to move that decimal however many zeros we have. Okay, so now dividing, okay, we know when we divide, we get a smaller number. So that's the key to remember here is we're going to get a smaller number. And just like before, we're going to move the decimal based on our zeros. Okay, so we know when we have a number like this, a whole number, the decimal's on the end. I have 1 0, and I'm dividing, so I move it 1 place. 2.3. Okay, I have 2 zeros, and I'm dividing. I move it 2 places. 1, 2. 0.23. Now I have 3 zeros, so I move it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And what do I fill in that extra space? You got it. I have to fill it with a 0. Okay? All right, now I have 2.3. So I'm dividing. Got to get a smaller number. So I know I'm going to move to the left. 1 0, I move 1 place. 2 zeros, I move 2 places. So I had this number, here I was, 1, 2. What do I fill in? That's right. And again, I have this number, and I have 3 zeros, so 3 places. Here's my decimal. 1, 2, 3. What do I fill in these 2 places? You got it, zeros. And notice I'm getting smaller numbers because I'm dividing. 0.23 and 0.023 and 0.0023 are all smaller than 2.3. Okay, now I have the decimal at the beginning. Okay, so I'm dividing by 10. 1 0, I'm going to move it 1 place. And I fill that place in with a 0. So here I am at my original number, and now I'm times 100. So 2 places. 1, 2. And what do I fill here? Yes, zeros. And now here I am to start my third one times 1,000, or divided by 1,000, so I move it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And what do I fill in here? Zeros. Okay, guys, so remember, when you're dividing by 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, any of those ones with zeros behind it, we're going to get a smaller number and we're going to move the decimal to the left, the same amount of zeros. When we're multiplying, we're going to move to the right, the same amount of zeros. Okay, sixth graders, I am so glad I got to work with you this spring. I have so missed you at school and I cannot wait to see you in the fall. We will see you then. Have a great summer. Bye, guys.